And we are here for today's study session. We need a roll call for study session.
Not for study session, Madam Mayor, but the record will reflect all council members are present.
And who would like to start the first topic?
We're going to have a joint topic this afternoon from Randy Chavez and Neil Ennis from our Public Works and Capital Programs Departments, just to provide council an overview and get any input you might would like to give us on our stormwater protection program. Obviously, this last year exposed some weaknesses in the system. We are working with the community right now to continue cleanup after Tropical Storm Hillary. We're also working with HOAs in the community to identify infrastructure that was exposed for not really being taken care of properly in the past. We wanted to provide council with an update as far as what we're doing, how we're working with the community. And if you have any other input or suggestions, we'd like to incorporate that in as well. So at this point, I'll turn over to Randy.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, City Council members. I'm Randy Chavez, Deputy Director of Public Works. With me is, like City Manager mentioned, Mr. Neil Ennis with the Capital Projects team. We have prepared a brief presentation of the City Stormwater Protection Program. I'd like to note that this program is a collaboration between Public Works, Capital Projects, and Development Services. So three topics we want to cover this afternoon is what is it? What's our protection program? What have we recently accomplished? And what's next? So the first topic, what is it? So in summary, it's a management plan to reduce pollution from stormwater runoff. The goal is to protect the community from flooding and prevent pollution from entering the system. And local agencies are responsible for their program and operations, and the State Water Board enforces and assesses penalties for noncompliance. Some of the key elements included in the program is annual catch basin cleaning, inspecting and inventorying our management program that work that's being done. We also are working with HOAs to self-certify, ensuring that they're in compliance. We also have a consultant who is CASC, that helps us inspect our stormwater system. And we have to comply with the county's MS4 permit requirements. And MS4 it's a tongue twister, but it's a municipal separate storm sewer system. So those are requirements that the city also has to comply with. One thing to note, forgive me here. We are also assessing our infrastructure and taking note of that. So what have we accomplished recently? So currently, we are performing outreach efforts. We have added the Stormwater Program webpage to the city's website under the Public Works Department. We are providing updates in the Brightside newsletter. We are meeting with HOAs and educating them on how to self-certify to assist their community. And we are working on a rebranding effort to bring awareness to the community. And additional steps that we're taking is collecting catch basin data and uploading it into our Cartograph asset management system. This is a new system that has been in place for about a year and a half now. And it's great because it captures all the information. We upload that information and it keeps it in perpetuity. Along with collecting data, we are also inspecting the stormwater infrastructure. A requirement of the MS4 permit is to electronically catalog our stormwater system, and using Cartograph, that helps us meet that requirement. And we're also providing additional training to our team to ensure that they're up to date with the latest stormwater regulations requirements. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Neil.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, so good afternoon. Thank you. Want to kind of start with the annual catch basin program that we have. It's been in place since 2001, and it's been performed regularly with increased frequency to become an annualized program at this point in time. So its scope is essentially debris removal as well as inspection, stencil placement, and the installation of connector pipe screens inside the basins, or the acronym CPS. Our FY '23 efforts completed and cleaned all 874 of the catch basins within the city and removed a significant amount of waste. We also were able to continue to meet the requirements of the trash capture system implementation plan for the inland surface waters adopted by the State Water Board. Our intent is to expand this effort of the storm systems into a holistic assessment rather than just focusing on the catch basins going forward. So getting into the stormwater infrastructure assessment project, which has been developed, it's actually out to bid right now, and it consists of 3 phases through 4 years. So the first phase is a preliminary assessment, which includes records research as well as reconnaissance, surveying, cleaning of the catch basins. But we're going to be adding video inspection of the pipe moving forward down the line, trying to figure out where that goes, what its diameter is, and just really gathering information so we know more about our storm system and how it's diagrammed and networked. Phase 2 is essentially contractor oversight, additional cleaning, additional video, CCTV inspections. And then we're going to perform phase 2 again a following year just to expand our informational network on the system. And phase 3 is the final assessment and report, which is a deliverable of GIS map to map, point to point, and reporting of the structures and their ratings and any reasonable forecast and how the infrastructure is trending towards either poor, critical, or a failed category. So what will this effort achieve? We've basically mapped it out here. We have 7 categories that we're setting our goals to. We're currently doing 2. And our general approach is to, as well with the items identified by Randy, continue the city's management of the storm infrastructure and allow for continued compliance with the current regulations, as well as prepare for any future storm events. So that concludes our joint presentation. We're available to field any questions or have any follow-up dialogue. Of course.
So once a year, it'll be revolving that all 874 basins will be getting cleaned on a yearly basis?
Yeah, that's correct. And then
And what did we do before?
we've previously been cleaning all 874. There's a requirement to install 5% annually of the trash collection screens. So we do that as well. So we're going to continue that effort forward, but
Okay.
expand it into pipe investigation.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hey, regarding trash collection screens,
Yes.
I mean, anywhere within the system that you collect trash is going to clog flow of floodwaters, right? So how does that?
That's accurate.
What's the, so then how does it help to have trash collection or trash, whatever? Anyway, try to explain that explain it to me, please, if you could.
Yeah, so there's a discharge point of many of our collection makeup points, right? We have a network that feeds into larger pipe diameter and bore, and generally outfalls into either one of the channels that's identified. So the goal is to prevent the trash from getting to a natural environment.
To keep the water flowing is to keep it out of, the idea is to keep the trash out of like the Whitewater Channel or out of whatever.
Yeah, that's the aggregate goal. And there's actually an overflow on the collection screen. So if we're stacking water, we've got a way out.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep,
Could I just follow up quickly too?
of course.
Is it the case that the trash collection screens keep the trash where it can easily be seen and collected as opposed to traveling where it might create a blockage?
The makeup of our catch basins in the city is very different. There's a lot of different styles and structures that we've identified as we've kind of walked through this process. So some of them actually have sumps built into them for collection of sand, debris, et cetera. So we have a real mixed bag to answer the question.
So I'm looking here at my, don't say page number, but it doesn't really matter.
All right.
Presented new private stormwater self-certification program at HOA community meeting, which is, I think is wonderful. We're keeping everyone engaged and apprised of the efforts we're making. So they have their own private stormwater that or stormwater collection system. How do we make sure, how do we guarantee they are keeping theirs clean so that we don't run into some issue when we have a lot of rain? How do we know that they're doing their part?
So, of course, you're certainly welcome to.
Yeah, so this is like I mentioned, a collaborative effort. So we do have CASC, who are consultants, and along with our city team, we are doing outreach. There are some HOAs that are more problematic than others just because of the geographic location. So we're explaining and showing them what they need to do. And once a year, they'll file a report along with pictures to show that their systems are clean. And what happens if they don't do that, then we'll send an inspector out there, see if their systems are clean or not, maybe issue them a notice to bring their systems up to par. And if they don't, then, we go to the next steps. But typically the HOAs, we recently had a meeting here. We had several HOAs here that were very receptive to the information provided. And, we rather inform and help them self-certify that, because it'll help the whole community if everyone keeps their systems in proper order.
And I absolutely agree with that. And I was at the meeting and I saw that it was well received, and I think that's great. My concern is if you have some people who are not doing their part and then we're going out and doing it for them, are we creating bad precedent? And here's the other issue. If it isn't cleared and there is backup, not only can they harm their own property, but their neighbor's property. So those are, I just want to know, how do we prevent that? How do we make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, so that's the gray line between privatized development and their storm catchment systems, their retention ponds, everything that gets kind of worked out in the development phase. We do tie into that in certain instances. We're aware of that. So we're wanting to get them to certify what is their real property is clean when it's transiting into our property and our stormwater system, so that we're throughputting compliant water as a team.
We have 2 or 3 different ways we can handle that. We're currently working with one HOA. This isn't uncommon where the HOAs actually took over a basin, didn't know that it was their responsibility. So we're working with them on that. That was exposed during Hillary. We had that basin holding water for several months, and the 2 HOAs are adjacent to one another, and they're currently in a dispute over who's supposed to be taking care of it. So those situations exist. We've started moving down the compliance road already. That was and have encouraged them to take advantage of the grant program. We also have the ability to go in and inspect it if they're causing damage or not allowing the system as a whole to flow. We'll work with our legal team and our compliance team through Pedro's department. So we have that ability if they're not cooperative, and we know about it. But right now, there is some trust there that in terms of attesting that they are taking care of the system. If we find out that they're not and they're attesting, then we'll pursue other channels.
And
Thank
by
you.
other channels, do you mean fees, or, I mean, we have to have some sort of teeth? I completely concur. We're here because we want to ensure that we keep things running as smooth as possible.
Yeah, our main strategy obviously is to move people towards compliance. If the compliance isn't there, then we've got the ability to begin issuing citations and work with the legal department if we have to. So far, we have not been in that situation. The other thing with especially the private developments is there's many cases where developments have been tied together through the development process that we've learned, and they also have legal agreements with each other in addition to the city being involved to cooperate to make sure that they're not harming their neighbors. So it's complex. Right now we're mapping the system out and making sure that any agreements that are out there, we understand them, we can track them, and we know who to notify. That has been most of the work that's been occurring in the last 8 months.
That's great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Much appreciated. I know it's a lot, and thank you to your teams that go out and do actual cleaning of basins. I'm sure it's not a fun part of their job, but so appreciation to all of you.
We'll pass it on.
What is the following item, Mr. City Manager?
Madam Clerk, there are no other study session items, and closed session will begin at 3:45. So if you'd like to take a break.
This time it is 3:32. We will be back at 3:45. Thank you.